Have you ever truly believed that setting boundaries would save a relationship, only to watch it unravel everything you thought you were protecting? I did. And it taught me the brutal truth about the fine line between asking for space and accidentally giving someone the freedom to forget you. My name's Natalie. I'm 27, and a year ago, I watched a 5-year relationship dissolve like it never mattered at all because the man I loved couldn't handle the fact that I was growing, and he wasn't. We met young, college sweethearts, first loves, the kind of love that wraps itself around your identity like a second skin. We moved in together, shared an apartment, split bills, dreamt of a future in sync. For a while, it felt real-anchored, safe, but to Damien, it seems that kind of stability slowly became suffocating. It started so small. I began reconnecting with parts of myself I had quietly tucked away: weekend brunches with girlfriends, spontaneous movie nights, harmless happy hours. After years of skipping nights out to stay home and nourish the relationship, I was finally doing things just for me. It felt good, harmless, but to Damien, it felt like betrayal. He hated his job. Long hours in a gray corporate box, every day draining more of his spirit. So when I came home laughing, eyes sparkling from a night with people who loved me, he didn't see joy. He saw disloyalty. The questions started. Who was there? When did you leave? Why didn't you check in? At first, I thought it was concern. Then I realized it was control. He began lurking near my phone, watching it like a rival. His voice turned passive-aggressive, his silences sharper than arguments. I'd leave to meet friends and come home to cold shoulders and suspicion. One night, I walked in from dinner and found him sitting in the dark, waiting, like a villain from a psychological thriller. No lights, no sound, just cold, heavy air and a barrage of questions. Names, times, what I wore, what I laughed at. I told him he was spiraling into paranoia, that if this relationship was going to survive, he had to trust me. But Damien didn't want trust. He wanted to contain me. When I told him his jealousy was exhausting and that I needed room to breathe, he unraveled. He asked if I was still happy. It wasn't a question, it was a trap, and I answered it honestly. I told him I loved him, but I was suffocating, that loyalty should never be mistaken for silence. I reminded him of my patience, my faithfulness, my love, and maybe I said it too sharply, but it was the truth. He begged to fix it, wanted to talk, wanted to dissect the conversation until he felt better. That was always his way. Resolution through emotional warfare, no matter how drained I was by the end. But I'd reached my limit, so I did something I'd never done before. I asked for space. Not a breakup, not a threat. I told him I needed time to think, to be alone with my thoughts. I wasn't leaving. I was pausing. 30 days. I asked him not to contact me, not to pressure, just wait, just trust. He didn't take it well. The texts came fast, pleading, frantic. What did space mean? How long? What were the rules? I didn't answer, not to punish him, but because I needed clarity. I deleted the messages, turned my phone off, focused on me. And for the first time in years, the silence was peaceful. I went out without guilt, danced, breathed. I started to feel like myself again, unmonitored, unjudged. My friends cheered me on. And somewhere in the middle of all that quiet rediscovery, I met Marcus. He was kind, thoughtful, patient. He didn't press, didn't pry, just made me feel seen, not managed, not claimed. It wasn't serious, just honest. Meanwhile, Damien unraveled. First week non-stop texts, then fewer. By week 3, silence. By the time I felt emotionally grounded enough to reach out, I sent a simple message: hey, I think we should talk. His reply came like a brick through glass: I've moved on. I'm seeing someone. Her name is Naomi. I called him instantly, heart racing, voice shaking. What do you mean, you've moved on? He was calm, detached. You stopped communicating. That ended things for me. I reminded him I didn't walk away. I asked for space. I asked for time. He replied coldly. Ghosting someone for a month isn't space. It's abandonment. Then came the dagger. Naomi listened. She didn't play games. She was there when you weren't. She'd been there for weeks. While I was giving Damien time to reflect, He was building something new with a woman I didn't even know existed. A co-worker, a rebound, a replacement. I felt betrayed, gaslight, discarded like I'd never mattered. I tried to fight for us. I showed up at his office. He refused to see me. I wrote a long, raw letter and left it on his windshield with his favorite cookies tucked beside it. Nothing. I checked his socials, and there they were, hiking trails we once loved, restaurants we once called ours, her hand on his chest, his smile fuller than I'd seen in years. He wasn't mourning. He was thriving. And I broke. I posted more, looked better, faked confidence, reconnected with Marcus, tried to make Damien see what he'd lost, but it didn't reach him. He didn't. Look back. By the time I saw them in the coffee shop, Naomi's fingers laced through his, Damien's laugh echoing like it never had with me, I knew he hadn't just moved on. He'd replaced me. 6 months later, I was unraveling. Marcus ended things, told me I wasn't really over Damien. He was right. Every date I went on ended the moment I showed strength or independence. Men wanted softness, obedience, quietness, and the moment I dared to speak with clarity, the ghosted. Then came the final blow. Damien and Naomi got engaged. Barely a year after everything fell apart, people were applauding their love story, their perfect match. I was sitting at my parents' house, unemployed, trying not to cry into my coffee as I scrolled through their engagement shoot. In a moment of reckless pain, I left a comment on the venue's page. Something raw, bitter, honest. I thought I was warning others. Damien filed for a restraining order. One impulsive comment turned into a spiral I couldn't stop. Legal bills, job rejections because court records don't hide. Friends vanished. My parents looked at me like I'd done something shameful, asked what I had done to push him away. So here I am, 20-8, alone, discredited, not because I cheated, not because I lied, but because I asked for air, because I believed a man would understand that space can mean survival, not silence. And the cruelest part, he didn't leave because I changed. He left because I grew. Have you ever been punished for becoming the strongest version of yourself? Because I have, and the scars still ache.